Hello everyone! Let us discuss the standard equation of ellipse with center sa kahit na anong point sa ating Cartesian plane, HK. Let's start dun sa horizontal major axis natin na ellipse. Given this figure, ang major axis natin ay itong mahaba na line segment na to. Ito ay dumadaan sa ating vertex and then dun sa ating focus and importantly, dito sa ating center. This is our major axis and then, eto namang mas maikli, yung dumadaan sa ating co-vertex B, tapos center, this is our minor axis. Eto naman yung mas maikli na line segment. Since again, yung major axis ng ating ellipse ay horizontal, ibig sabihin, mas mahaba yung pag-stretch niya towards the positive x-axis and negative x-axis compared sa mas maikli na line segment sa positive y-axis at negative y-axis. And here is the equation kapag ang ellipse natin ay merong horizontal na major axis. We have our x minus h squared over a squared plus y minus k squared all over b squared is equal to 1. Where yung h tsaka yung k na nandito, siya yung coordinates nung ating center ng ellipse. H yung x coordinate ng center, k yung y coordinate ng ating center. Tapos malalaman natin kung pahiga, horizontal major axis or patayo, vertical yung major axis ng ellipse natin kapag tinignan natin kung nasaan yung A natin. Kapag yung A ay kasama ng x minus h squared, then our major axis is horizontal. Pero dito sa baba, kapag ang A naman natin ay kasama ay yung y minus k squared, then our major axis is vertical. Ang ellipse natin ay patayo. Kaya importante yung A kasi siya yung magsasabi ng orientation ng ating ellipse. And paano natin malalaman kung ano yung A at B? Ang A, this is always greater than B. Kaya given the standard equation ng ellipse, kapag yung mas malaking number ay kasama ni x minus h squared, then our major axis is horizontal. Pero kapag yung mas malaking number sa denominator ay kasama naman ni y minus k squared, then our ellipse has a vertical major axis or patayo siya. Then ano yung gamit nitong A na to tsaka nung B na to na nasa ating standard equation? Ito yung palagi nating tatandaan, yung A, siya yung distansya sa pag-itan ng ating center at ng ating vertex. Siya yung kalahati ng ating major axis. Kung A siya dito, meron din tayong sa kabila, this is also equal to A, the distance ng ating center at vertex 2. This is for the A na nandito sa ating standard equation. Then para naman sa B, ito yung distansya nung ating co-vertex nung mas maikli saka nung ating center. This is equal to B, same mula sa center hanggang kay co-vertex 2, this is also equal to B. Kaya importante na makuha natin yung value ng A tsaka nung B para makuha natin yung ating vertex at co-vertex. Then third, ang titignan naman natin ay yung focus. Meron tayong isa dito at meron din tayong pangalawa dito sa kabilang side. Para makuha naman natin yung distansya sa pagitan ng ating center at focus, this is small letter C. At para makuha natin to, gagamitin lang natin itong formula na nandito. The distance between our center and focus, C, is just equal to the square root of A squared minus B squared. Makukuha na naman natin siya kasi meron na tayong A at B sa ating standard equation. Kaya tandaan natin yung formula. And then lastly, we have our latus rectum. In plural, siya ay latera recta. Etong LR1, LR2, LR3, at LR4. Apat ang ating latera recta. Manggagaling naman tayo, ang reference point natin is our focus 1 and focus 2. Tapos ang distansya ng focus at LR1, kung ang ating major axis ay horizontal, then tayo ay going vertically towards positive y and negative y axis. Laging perpendicular ang major axis at yung distance between dun sa ating LR. Then para makuha natin yung distansya niya, this is just always equal to B squared over A. Kunin natin yung square ng ating B, tapos divide natin siya dito sa ating A, as we have shown here dito sa formula sa baba. Same, the distance between our focus 1 and LR2, this is B squared over A. Pareho din siya dito sa ating LR3 at focus 2. And lastly, the distance between our focus 2 and LR4, this is also equal to B squared over A. Ito yung mga key points natin sa ating ellipse, tapos yung distansya kung paano natin sila makukuha. Kaya we need to be aware dun sa gamit ng ating A, ng ating B, yung formula para sa ating C, tapos yung b squared over a natin sa ating focus at LR. That's it for the preliminary concepts. Let us apply all of this sa ating example. So we have to plot the graph of the ellipse with the equation x minus 1 squared over 16 plus y plus 2 squared over 25 is equal to 1. Ang una nating step is kailangan nating alamin kung ano yung orientation ng ating ellipse. At ang titignan lang natin ay yung value sa ating denominator. We have 16 and then 25. At titignan natin kung ano yung mas malaki sa kanila. In this case, mas malaki yung ating 25 tapos kasama siya ni y. Kaya our major axis, dahil we have our y here, is vertical or patayo. Again, yung basis natin ay yung kung ano yung mas malaki na value sa ating denominator. This is our a squared. Ngayon, kailangan nating ilipat yung ating given sa ating standard equation. At ang standard equation ng ellipse with vertical major axis ay x minus h squared over, mas mababa siya, so we have our b squared here, then plus y minus k squared. Dahil andito yung mas malaking value, andito si a squared is equal to 1. Kaya i-check natin yung given natin. We have our x minus 1 squared. This is x minus h squared. Okay na tayo kasi same na yung operation. Ang problema natin is our denominator. This is 16. Kailangan natin siyang gawing b squared. Kaya para makapag-produce tayo nitong exponent na 2, we have to take the square root nung nasa denominator na 16. Kaya rewriting, we have our x minus 1 squared. Tapos, ang square root ng 16 is just 4 and then squared. 4 squared is just equal to 16. You were able to produce yung exponent na 2. Next, punta tayo sa kabila. We have our y plus 2 and y minus k. Ang problema natin, the operation between y and 2 is addition, pero dapat ang standard equation natin ay subtraction. Kaya babaguhin natin yung sign na to subtraction, tapos kukunin natin yung opposite sign nung nandito. Kaya this is plus. Yung y plus 2 natin will become y. Yung addition natin will become subtraction. So, this is y minus. Tapos, si positive 2, gagawin natin siyang negative 2. So, this is y minus negative 2 and then squared. Etong y minus negative 2 is still equivalent to y plus 2. Pero we have our operation of subtraction na kailangan natin sa ating standard equation. Then, this is all over. Yung denominator natin na 25, ang kailangan natin ay a squared. Again, kailangan natin ng exponent na 2, kaya we have to take the square root nung 25. The square root of 25 is just equal to 5, and that is 5 and then squared. 5 squared is just equal to 25, and all is equal to 1. Ngayon, nakarating na tayo sa ating standard equation na ang value ng h natin is 1, ang b natin is 4, ang k natin is negative 2, at ang a natin ay yung nasa baba lang, which is 5. So, isulat natin lahat dito para kapag ka nag-graph na tayo ay mas madali na yung process natin. Our h is at 1. Ang k naman natin is at negative 2. Tapos, ang a natin, yung kasama ni y, that is equal to 5. Kaya we have our a, which is equal to 5. Tapos, yung b naman natin ay yung kasama ni x minus h squared, which is 4. Ang b natin is equal to 4. Again, as a reminder, yung a natin is always greater than yung b natin. Ngayon na nakuha na natin yung mga values na to, we are now ready to plot our ellipse. Ang center niya is at hk. We have the values of our h at 1 and k at negative 2. Kaya ang center ng ating ellipse is at 1 and then negative 2. Kapag pinlat natin siya dito sa ating Cartesian plane, our 1, negative 2 is around this point. This is our center. Then according dito sa ating standard equation, dahil yung a natin ay kasama ni y minus k squared, then our major axis is vertical. Ibig sabihin, patayo siya. Kaya from our center here, dito sa Cartesian plane, if we draw a vertical line, dito natin makikita yung ating major axis. Ngayon na alam na natin yung orientation niya, let us proceed with our next point, which is our vertex. Our vertex V, ang reference point niya is from the center. Manggagaling siya dito. Pero as we can see dito sa ating Cartesian plane, since our major axis is vertical, makikita rin natin yung ating vertex dito sa line na to. Kaya we are moving towards the positive y-axis and negative y-axis mula sa ating center. Kaya ang gagawin natin is that from our reference point, the center, na 1, negative 2, magdadagdag at magbabawas tayo dun sa y-coordinate niya. At ano yung distansya between our center and vertex? That is just equal to a. Kaya ito yung idadagdag at ibabawas natin sa ating center dun sa y-coordinate para makuha natin yung ating vertex. So doing that, we have our 1 and the negative 2 y-coordinate. Siya yung dadagdagan at babawasan natin ng a natin, which is 5. Now we can get our 2 vertices. Our vertex 1, v1 is equal to 1. Kunin ko muna yung nasa taas, so we use the positive. Negative 2 plus 5, this is equal to positive 3. This is our vertex 1. And for our vertex 2, we get the subtraction, same x-coordinate 1. Tapos we do negative 2 minus 5. This is just equal to negative 7. Our vertex 1 is at 1, 3. Vertex 2 is at 1, negative 7. Kaya kapag pinlat natin siya dito sa ating Cartesian plane, we have our 1, 3. Andito tayo sa point na to. Ito ang ating unang vertex. Tapos, yung 1, negative 7 naman natin ay at this point, this is our vertex 2. Burahin lang natin yung ating sobra sa ating major axis. Now we have our vertex 1 and vertex 2. Then, ang susunod na kukuhanin naman natin ay ang ating co-vertex. Mula sa ating center ulit na 1, negative 2, kung ang distansya between our center and vertex is a, 5, ang distansya naman ng ating center at ng ating co-vertex ay yung b natin, which is 4. Kaya kung babalikan natin yung ating drawing, ang major axis natin ay nandito, vertical. Ang minor axis naman natin ay horizontal. Palaging perpendicular ang ating major axis at minor axis. Kaya mula sa center, kung mapapansin natin, our movement is towards the positive x-axis and the negative x-axis. Kaya ang gagawin naman natin, yung x-coordinate naman ni center, ang dadagdagan at babawasan natin nung distance natin, which is 4, para makuha natin yung coordinates ng ating co-vertex. Kaya kapag ginawa natin yun, balik tayo sa ating center. Our center is at 1, negative 2. Yung x ang gagalawin natin. Kaya to get our co-vertex b, we add and subtract yung value ng b natin, which is 4, dun sa ating x-coordinate. And then same, ang y-coordinate natin ay negative 2 pa rin. Then to get our b1, magsimula muna tayo sa ating negative. By the way, we can interchange yung subscript b sub 1 and b sub 2 as long as tama pa rin yung labeling natin sa ating Cartesian plane. So for this one, unahin ko muna si subtraction. We have 1 minus 4. This is equal to negative 3. Still, ang y ay negative 2. And then for our second co-vertex, we have yung addition naman, we have 1 plus 4. Kaya this is equal to 5 and then negative 2. We have our co-vertices, negative 3, negative 2, and 5, negative 2. Plotting this on our Cartesian plane. Ang negative 3, negative 2, we are at this point. Burahin natin yung sobra natin. This is our co-vertex 1, b sub 1. Tapos, ang co-vertex 2 naman natin ay nasa 5, negative 2. Kaya we are at this point. Burahin din natin yung sobra para mas presentable. Then, our co-vertex 2 is at this point, 5, negative 2. Medyo nakikita na natin yung itsura ng ating ellipse. Ang kailangan na lang nating hanapin ay yung dalawang foci natin at yung 4 na latera recta. To get the value of our foci, dito tayo gagalaw sa ating major axis going towards the positive y-axis and negative y-axis. Tapos, ang distansya between our center and our focus is just equal to c. Kaya kailangan pa natin siyang isolve using our formula. Then doing that, solving for the value of our c, balik tayo sa ating computation. Our c is just equal to the square root of a squared minus b squared. Again, ang a natin is just equal to 5, ang b natin is 4. So, we substitute lang yung values nila dito. Kaya this will become the square root of a is 5 squared minus b is 4 squared. Kaya this is equal to the square root of our 5 squared is 25 minus 4 squared is 16. Now we arrive at our square root of 25 minus 16. That is just equal to the square root of 9. Or simply, our c is equal to 3. Sulat natin sa taas, we have our c is equal to 3. Ito yung distansya between our center and our focus. Now again, ang reference point natin ay yung center natin which is 1, negative 2, and then ang focus ay matatagpuan natin sa ating major axis. Kaya ang movement natin is towards the positive y and negative y axis. Kaya etong y coordinate ng center ang dadagdagan at babawasan natin nung c natin which is equal to 3. Then to get the value of our focus, f is this equal to no movement sa ating x coordinate, tapos yung y, siya yung dadagdagan at babawasan natin nung c natin which is equal to 3. Now we can get the values of our foci. First focus, gamitin ulit muna natin yung positive, f sub 1 is equal to 1, and then negative 2 plus 3, this is just equal to positive 1, and then focus 2, f sub 2, we have yung subtraction naman, negative 2 minus 3, kaya we are at 1 and then negative 5. Focus 1 is 1, 1, focus 2 is 1, negative 5, balikan natin yung ating graph, lagay natin yung ating focus. Focus 1 is at 1, 1, dito sa point na to, this is our F1, and then ang ating focus 2 ay nasa 1, negative 5, kaya andito tayo sa point na to, this is our focus 2. Last, kailangan na nating kunin yung ating apat na latera recta. Ang ating latera recta ay manggagaling dito sa ating focus and it is also perpendicular dun sa ating major axis. Kaya ang latera recta natin is going towards the positive x-axis and negative x-axis. Ang magiging reference point natin ay yung focus 1 at yung ating focus 2. Kaya kukunin natin yung focus 1, dadagdagan at babawasan natin nung distansya which is always b squared over a. Ito yung distansya between our focus and our latera recta. So let us solve for the values of b squared over a, tapos i-add natin siya at ibawa sa x-coordinate ng ating focus. So doing that, baba tayo dito sa ating computation. Medyo marami lang kailangan na points kaya we have to be somehow careful. To get the value of our b squared over a, this is just equal to, ang b natin from our previous computation, this is just equal to 4. So this is 4 squared over ang a natin is 5. We have 16 ang 4 squared and then ang 5 natin retained. Kaya we have 16 over 5. Kung ililipat natin into its decimal form, this is equal to 3.2. Ito yung idadagdag at ibabawas natin dun sa x-coordinates ng ating focus. Let's start with our focus 1 para makuha natin yung ating unang dalawang latera recta. Let us label this as LR12 using our focus 1 na 1, 1. Then adding and subtracting yung ating b squared over a na 3.2 sa x-coordinate ng ating focus 1. We have 1 plus and minus 3.2 and then 1. For our LR3 and 4, yung ating susunod na mga values ng ating latera recta, again, magdadagdag ulit tayo sa ating x-coordinate kasi ang movement natin ay towards the positive x and negative x, pero dito naman tayo sa ating focus 2. Kaya ito ay magiging 1 plus and minus yung b squared over a, this is still 3.2, tapos yung y-coordinate nito ay negative 5. Then we can solve for our LR1 and 2. Para consistent tayo sa drawing, we will be starting with our subtraction. LR1 is just equal to 1 minus 3.2. This is equal to negative 2.2 and then 1. Tapos for our LR2, we use the addition. We have 1 plus 3.2, kaya this is 4.2 and then 1. Tapos for our LR3, dito naman tayo sa baba, same, subtraction ng unahin natin, 1 minus 3.2, so this is negative 2.2 and then negative 5. And then our LR4, we use our addition, 1 plus 3.2, we are at positive 4.2 and then negative 5. Nakuha na natin yung ating apat na latera recta. Balik-balikan na lang natin sila as we plot our graph. Simula tayo kay LR1 and LR2. We have negative 2.21 at 4.21. Plotting that on our Cartesian plane. Negative 2.21 around this point. This is our LR1. Tapos ang LR2 natin ay nasa 4.21. Kaya we can somehow put this at this point. This is our LR2. Tapos for our LR3 and 4, balikan ulit natin yung ating values. We have negative 2.2 and negative 5, tsaka 4.2 and then negative 5. Plot natin siya dito sa ating Cartesian plane. We have our negative 2.2 and then negative 5. Our LR3 is somehow at this point. And then for our LR4, we have 4.2 and then negative 5. Kaya mailalagay natin yung ating LR4 at this point. This is our LR4. Now, nakuha na natin yung ating center, yung ating vertices, yung ating co-vertices, yung ating foci, at yung ating apat na lateral recta. Now, we only have to connect yung ating vertices, lateral recta, at co-vertices para makuha natin yung graph ng ating ellipse. So, doing that, finally, we were able to plot the graph ng ating ellipse. And kung babalikan natin yung ating standard equation, this is our ellipse, x minus 1 squared over 4 squared plus y minus negative 2 squared over 5 squared is equal to 1. This is the standard equation of our ellipse and its graph.